Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is playing like the most valuable player in the league, and this game is the perfect example. He did not walk into some easy home matchup. He walked into Denver, into a loud building, against the champs with half his help missing. No real size behind him, key teammates out, a thin rotation that looks small on every matchup card. On paper, this is the kind of road game where even an MVP-level player is supposed to put up numbers and still lose by 20. That is why this night feels so crazy. Denver has all the things coaches dream about. Bigger bodies at almost every spot, a dominant center who lives in the paint, strong forwards who love contact, a full squad ready to lean on a team that is undersized and tired. Ask any normal fan and they would say the same thing. This is not a fair fight. The safe guess is that Oklahoma City hangs around for a little while, then slowly gets crushed inside as the game goes on. But Shai did not treat it like a sacrifice game. He came in chasing a scoring streak that has him standing next to old legends, and he was not about to let this be the night it dies. The Thunder had one star and a lot of question marks. Denver had power, depth, and a clear plan. Hit the paint, hit the glass. Hit this small lineup until it bends. From the opening minutes, the Nuggets tried to turn that plan into real damage, and that is where the trouble for Oklahoma City started. The trouble showed up fast. Denver did not ease into the game. From the first few trips, they went straight at the soft spots. Aaron Gordon took the ball, saw a smaller body in front of him, and just went through him. Post-ups, hard drives, second-chance looks. Every time he felt contact, he kept going and finished at the rim. The message was clear in the first 2 minutes. This was going to be a strength test, not a pretty skill show. Then Jamal Murray joined in. He started hitting tough pull-ups, step-ins, and mid-range jumpers that kill a defensive spirit. Even when Oklahoma City stayed in front, the shots were dropping. The scoreboard started to move the wrong way in a hurry. 10-point lead, then more. The crowd got louder with every bucket, smelling an early blowout. It looked like Denver were not just trying to win, they were trying to send a message to a smaller group that had no business hanging around. On the Thunder side, it felt like every mistake turned into points the other way. A missed box out became a putback. A late rotation became a corner three. Shai could feel the game tilting, but at this stage, it was Denver's storm. They had all the rhythm, all the noise, and all the control. And yet, under that heavy start, there was still one question hanging in the air. How long could the Nuggets keep this pace once Shai really put his hands on the game? At some point, enough was enough. Shai stopped looking at the score and just started picking his spots. First, it was a simple drive on Jamal Murray, right into the lane, soft finish off the glass. No celebration, no stare down, just a quiet checkmark. Then he went right back at them, pulled up in that short mid-range area where he lives and dropped another one. The building did not go silent, but the noise changed. You could feel it. Denver were still up, but they were no longer relaxed. Once Shai found that rhythm, Denver's defense had a new problem. If they stayed glued to him, he got to his favorite spots and scored. If they sent extra help, he used that to open up shooters. He drove middle, 2 defenders stepped up, and the ball flew out to the wing for a clean 3. Next trip, he snaked along the baseline, drew the big toward him, and slipped a pass to a cutter for an easy layup. Little by little, the lead that looked safe started to shrink. The crowd went from laughing at the mismatch to holding their breath on every Thunder possession. By the time the first quarter started to wind down, the game did not look like a walkover anymore. The Nuggets were still in front, but it felt different. Shai had turned a one-way beating into a real contest, and Denver knew it. The question now was simple and scary for Oklahoma City. What happens when he has to sit? Can anyone else carry what he just started, or does the game swing right back to Denver the second he takes a break? When Shai finally went to the bench, this could have fallen apart fast. Instead, the other guys treated it like their own test. A.J. Mitchell stepped in at point and slowed everything down. No rush drives, no wild passes. He brought the ball up, got everyone into their spots, and made sure each trip had a real plan. On one play, he poked the ball loose from Jokic, pushed up the floor, and finished at the rim like a guard who wasn't scared of the moment at all. Around him, the shooters stayed ready. Isaiah Joe stopped acting like a pure spot-up guy and started attacking closeouts, taking 1 or 2 hard dribbles into floaters and pull-ups when Denver flew at him. Jalen Williams, the bigger forward, trailed the play, popped out behind the line, and punished every late contest with calm threes. These possessions hurt the Nuggets because they came in the minutes where they expected to breathe, but OKC refused to give them that break. On the Denver side, Jonas Valanciunas didn't give them the boost they needed in those stretches. He looked a step slow on switches and struggled to close out to shooters who spaced him out above the arc. That small edge was all the Thunder needed. By the time Shai checked back in, the game was still tight, and Denver had a new headache. Their early push hadn't broken this team, and now the MVP-level guard is coming back onto the floor with real help and fresh legs. Second half starts and Denver finally admits it. Guarding Shai straight up is dumb, so they switch the plan. First look, they throw Christian Braun on him like a glove. Next possession, they send a second defender early trying to get the ball out of Shai's hands. On paper, smart move. In real life, it just means OKC now has a numbers game every time he puts the ball on the floor. Shai reads it like it's light work. Braun fights over a screen, the big steps up, and Shai doesn't even bother forcing a tough shot. He hits Jalen Williams popping out wide open. Splash. Next trip, they switch the pick. Now a slower big is on an island. Shai drives, both help defenders panic, and he fires a pass to the corner for a clean three. You can see it in Denver's faces. They're guessing, he's not. By the time they try hard traps, it's already too late. Shai drags two defenders toward him, flips the ball to AJ Mitchell in space, and now the defense is chasing shadows. One play ends with a backdoor cut, another ends with Wallace dunking because no one rotates. Every new coverage the Nuggets throw out there feels like a fresh idea for them and free practice for Shai. The scoreboard keeps creeping, and you get the sense that Denver isn't just trying to stop an offense anymore. They're trying to solve a puzzle that keeps changing every time they think they figured it out. Here's where it gets wild. In the middle of all this chaos, Shai brings the ball up, uses a simple screen, steps into a clean jumper, and drops it like it's just another Tuesday. On the scoreboard, it's just more points, but that one shot pushes him past 20 again and locks him in next to Wilt on the all-time streak list. One regular bucket, and suddenly this calm guard from OKC is sitting next to a giant from a completely different era. The crazy thing is how normal it looks in real time. No crazy celebration, no long pause, no big reaction. Shai just jogs back on defense like he's done this 100 times before, which is exactly the point. Night after night, different arenas, different defenders, different game plans, and he still finds a way to get to that number. Coaches spend hours trying to take away his spots, and he still punches through 20 like it's a minimum requirement. Think about how hard that really is over a full season and more. Off nights happen, travel hits, shots rim out. Most stars have random games where nothing drops. Shai has turned that weird 20-point line into a floor he simply doesn't slip under. You're not just watching a good scoring run anymore, you're watching a streak that lives in the same space as legends, and on this night in Denver, it is still very much alive. Fourth quarter, the game finally tilts OKC's way. Shai has the Denver defense spinning, Jalen is knocking down shots, and the Thunder start to build that little cushion everybody loves. 2 points turns into 5, 5 turns into 8, and you can feel Denver getting tight. For a minute, it looks like the classic story. Undersized team steals a win on the road behind one hot star and a couple of brave role players. Then, Denver hits the panic button in the best way. Tim Hardaway steps up and buries a deep three that slices the lead and wakes the whole building back up. On the next key stretch, Lou Dort tries to send a message with a hard foul on Jokic, but it backfires. Jokic gets to the line, Denver keeps the ball, and they cash in again from the corner. Just like that, all that safe space OKC built starts leaking away. You can almost see the Thunder bench doing the math in their heads and not liking the numbers. The real gut punch comes when Jalen reaches in at the worst possible time. Jokic gets the shot off, the whistle blows, and suddenly Denver is staring at a 4-point play chance. They hit it, the scoreline flips from comfortable to even, and the whole game shrinks down to a single possession. No more game plan talk, no more record talk. One mistake has wiped out the lead, and now it's simple. Tie game, clock low, ball back in Shai's hands. This is exactly what Denver spent all night trying to avoid, and they still end up right here. He dribbles up slow, watches how the defense shifts, and doesn't rush. No hero scream, no wild move, just calm. One quick change of pace, a step back to his right, defender leaning the wrong way, and the shot goes up. The ball drops clean, the building stops for half a second, and everyone has the same thought. Of course it was him.
When you look at the numbers after that, they sound made up. Shai finishes with a huge scoring night, piles up assists, crashes the glass, and still takes care of the ball like it's made of glass. No wild turnovers, no panic plays, just full control from tip to buzzer. Jalen answers with the best game of his season, knocking down big shots and battling on the boards. AJ Mitchell looks like a real guard in a tough road game, running the offense when Shai sits and stepping into big moments without blinking. This is not a one-man box score. It's a star carrying, but the rest of the group actually backing it up. The scary part for the rest of the league is what kind of win this says. OKC walks into the champs building without their usual size, gets punched early, and still walks out with a win behind an MVP-level closer and role players who didn't fold. If they can pull this off short-handed, what happens when all their bigs are back and the rotation is full again? Nights like this make one thing clear. As long as Shai is playing at this level, the Thunder aren't just a fun young team anymore. They're a real problem for anyone with a banner, and a lot of people are going to start circling their name on the schedule for the wrong reasons. Blessings to all my subscribers, family, your support means everything. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and I'll catch you in the next one.